We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
What's going on, everybody? Tom Quiet here, live and amplified. Welcome back into another Hoedown Showdown. Today we have a very special guest join us. We have Helena Mace. How's it going today?
I'm good. How's it going with you?
Oh, everything's going well. It's early in the morning, but you know what? It's Saturday, so I can always go back to bed. So
you can, yes. That's a good thing about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how's the new year been treating you? It's looking through your Spotify, you've had a busy 2024. So I imagine it's probably nice to step back and not worry about too much at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. January is kind of my reset month. It's been such an incredible year last year. It's just been non-stop. I'm not complaining. It's been fantastic, but I need a bit of a break for a couple of weeks before I delve into the next the next session of all the stuff that I'm going to do.
Oh yeah, fair. Because what'd you release last year? 2 albums and then a bunch of singles, or is it?
I did 2 albums. I did a Christmas one because I love Christmas, so I did a Christmas one which had originals and covers on it. But in earlier that year, I did Waterfalls, my 5th album, which it was just amazing to do. I did that in the summer, so I did a full originals album, and I think the Snowfall one, which is my last one, that was my 7th album in total. So been busy.
Nice. Staying busy, I love it. Was the intent to always kind of do like a Christmas album, or was that something that just kind of came up naturally throughout the year?
I've been doing singles every Christmas, and I did an originals album in lockdown in 2020. Christmas album. And I thought, you know what, it's been 4 years since I did the Christmas album. Let's just do another one. I love doing it. So I had some originals that I'd already released. I put them on there with some carols and some classic Christmas songs. Made it all snowy and fluffy. And it was just really good fun, very warming, and very enjoyable to record, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's that's the one thing I've really enjoyed over the last 5 years or so, especially during the pandemic. I don't know, it may have been happening regularly before the pandemic, but it feels like the pandemic, a lot of musicians were doing a lot more original Christmas music. You know, it seems like, especially on the independent level, because Christmas music is such a hard thing to get it out at the right time, and then B, it's like, okay, it's good for 2 months, and then you got to wait another 10 before it's relevant again. So
yeah, basically, but I do it because I do it as a fan thing, really. So I give out some CDs and put it on Spotify and that as well. So I do it for my own pleasure as well, because I do love Christmas, and it's lovely doing Christmas songs. This is something different.
Oh yeah, for sure. So obviously a busy 2024. What's kind of the plan as we head into 2025? Where are you kind of creatively right now? Obviously you're taking a little bit of a break from the madness that was 2024, but are you looking at on more albums? Are you kind of looking at more singles? Like, what's kind of the thought process as we look at 2025 here?
Well, I'm going to start in the studio again next month, and I'll be doing a few singles and starting work on my next album, which I hope to release sort of early next year. So I've got a couple of songs that I wrote back in 2016 that could really do with a shake-up. Yeah. So I'm going to do those, and then I've got a couple of new singles as well. I was very inspired when I came over to actually your neck of the woods. I was over in Texas in October and met some great musicians, and I've come back very inspired and looking at writing new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. When you told me that you were at the Texas Country Music Awards, I was like, dang it. I was supposed to be there, and then I ended up having to work. So I was just like, because there's a lot of musicians there that I've had on the podcast, and I just hadn't met in person, you know, just because it doesn't always happen like that. And then, and they were all going to be there. And I'm like, sweet, I could finally put faces, like actually shake hands, put faces to names and all that stuff. And then, it just kind of ended up happening. But yeah, I'm really excited to kind of sit down and chat with you, because I've been following the UK scene here pretty religiously since like 2020, and your name just kind of
Yeah.
always pops up. Uh, where did I see you? Did you play Country on the Coast like
Yes.
last? Okay, that was one of the big moments because they every year they keep inviting me out, and it's like I'd love to, but this like little financial commitment to make that
Yeah,
trip.
it's not cheap.
Yeah, and it's especially since I've never, well, I mean, I guess I can't say I've never traveled abroad, but I've never traveled abroad to that extent. Like I've gone to Canada and like the Caribbean islands a couple of times,
Yeah.
and that's just like a very Americanized version of traveling abroad. Whereas like going to the UK, that's like a whole, that's like you're fully pot committed to the idea. So
You are. It's like when we came to Texas, and it took us hours to get there.
yeah,
And it was great because we actually we had to go from London to Dublin to Chicago to Dallas to Marshall, and then on the way back we went via New Jersey. So it was a really long journey,
yeah,
but it's just part of it. But yeah, we managed to get a sponsor to get us out there because I don't know if we could have done it otherwise. We had a very generous person. Said, "You've got to go. You've got to go."
yeah.
And we went. We met Preston and everybody, and we had a great time and came back with an award. So it was absolutely worth it.
Nice. What award did you end up winning at the TCMAs?
We had the music of the year, so we came back for our three piece. The three of us went out there, and we took my daughter with us as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so we did my original music. Oh, it's just we had such a great time, and I
Nice.
went horse riding as well, which was fantastic.
That's amazing. How long were you out there? Were you
We did 8 days.
8 days? Okay. And you
Yeah, so
primarily
two travelled.
yeah, fair. Were you primarily just up in Dallas, or did you get a chance to come south into like my area and like Waco and go down to like Austin and all that stuff?
No, we did. We stayed in Dallas the first night, and then the awards. We went to Marshall, down that way, and we went to Louisiana. Uh,
Okay.
we were quite near the state line, so we went to Louisiana, Shreveport, and just had a bit of a wander around. Because obviously, two of those days were traveling to home and back again, so they took up that. And we went to Lake Caddo. We went to some horse riding ranch, which was just great.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ride in America, and it's my bucket list thing, so I've achieved that. So that was one of my favorite days.
Right. It's Texas is like, and I was telling somebody this yesterday we were sitting down on the podcast, and I was like, man, just because she was asking me about, she wants to come over stateside. She was from Australia. She's like, I want to make a trip stateside. I want to go to Nashville. And I was like, honestly, Nashville's a cool place. I 100% agree. But if you're like actually looking to like play and get your name out there by playing your music, you might want to give Austin and Texas in general a try. Like
Yeah.
you're young enough where it's not gonna, if you take a month and come out and go to Texas and it's like, man, Texas wasn't what I thought it was going to be, no harm, no foul. You've always got
Yeah.
Nashville. But yeah, so
Yeah. I haven't done Nashville yet, but I absolutely loved what we saw of Texas and the people. We absolutely loved it. Everyone was so welcoming. They love our accent out there. They kept making us talk.
that
They kept saying, "Can you say this? Can you say that?"
especially that actually sounds very Texas, especially out in East Texas where Marshall is. That sounds like something
Yeah.
they would do out in East Texas. So
Yeah, they said they asked me, "Do you have tea parties and things like that?" Which we don't really, but I am having a cup of tea right now though. So
nice, nice. Um, so how's obviously you said earlier that you were really inspired when you came back from Texas. Texas, do you think you're gonna kind of start exploring like that Texas red dirt sound that's kind of making its way through, or were you just more inspired by like writing your own style of music?
I like my own style of music, but I do want to put more sort of that sort of vibe in there. I've actually just recently bought a banjo. I'm starting to
Nice.
learn that on top of my yeah. I do like the sound, and yeah, I was inspired by this at the Texas Awards. There was a lot of musicians from different countries,
Yeah.
all bringing their own sound to Texas, and which was just wonderful. We had people from Australia, from Africa, from Sweden, and then us from the UK. We won for the UK, which was just great. But there's so many good people out there. The standard was exceptionally high as well. We were
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
this is big, and but everyone was so friendly. We had a wonderful time, and I hope to get back there in the next couple of years as well. Absolutely, would come back.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you got to go to Billy Bob's, which not a lot of people kind of sleep on Billy Bob's because it's not the Green Hall and like all these Texas dance halls that are famous, but Billy Bob's, they're doing something out there. So
There's a lot going on, and it's been we played at the Memorial Hall in Marshall, and there was a lovely brewery kind of just a few doors down where we got to jam after each show, and we just got together. Everyone just pick up an instrument and just play. We'd
yep,
be playing with like different people from all around the world, but no one had played together before. But it
yep.
was such a good vibe, and it's probably the friendliest place I've ever been.
Oh yeah. I've been to several music festivals where that's the vibe, where it's like the show goes until like midnight, 1 a.m., whatever it is. And then if you wake up
Yeah,
at 2 or 3 and walk past the fire, there's 30 to 40 people just sitting around playing. And it's like, y'all realize that lineup starts at like 9 a.m. and you're out here and
yeah,
it's 3 a.m. Yeah. So it,
yeah, it's great.
it's one of those things where when you're in the moment, none of that matters. It's yeah.
Absolutely.
So cool. So where are you kind of at show wise right now? Like once you start picking back up, do you play pretty consistently, or are shows a little bit fewer and far between?
I've already got 50 to something booked in for the year
Oh
so
wow,
far. Yeah, so I've got a band, a three-piece and a four-piece. Plus, I do my own solo stuff as well. And I've got another band, which is my friend's band that I've just joined as rhythm guitarist
yeah,
and female vocalist. That's more rock kind of stuff. We do a lot of covers as well, but we're doing some shows with just my originals, which we're doing in some church halls, in actual churches, and we have the most beautiful churches
yeah,
in England, and we're going to do some shows there. So yeah, well, getting pretty booked up, and we do the pubs and clubs as well. You know, we like
mm-hmm.
to. It's a living as well as anything else. I do. This is my job as
Mm-hmm.
well as my kind of career, and my dream. I'm managing very lucky to be able to fit that all in
Yeah,
together. So yeah,
for sure.
getting very booked up and lots going on.
That's cool. I love that. I was going to ask if you were a full-time musician or if you had like a side job to kind of fuel your music addiction, because that but no, that's really cool. And it's funny you bring up the church halls, because I've often told people that if we ever get to a point where Live and Amplified needs like a freestanding like place, an old church is what I'm going to look at getting, because those
Oh yeah,
like especially when you go into like the main hall or the main like whatever you want to call it, like there's just no sound like it. Like that sound is
oh yeah,
yeah,
acoustic it's incredible.
yeah.
The best places to play, absolutely.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so it was really great getting to chat with you. If anybody wants to check out your music, upcoming shows, stuff like that, where's the best place to find you?
Okay, well, I'm on all the usual channels, so you can follow me on Spotify to stream my music and iTunes and all that. But I'm on obviously Facebook, Helena Mace, singer-songwriter, Instagram, TikTok, all the normal places, YouTube. So yeah, come and say hello and drop me a line, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you all.
Awesome. I'll be looking forward to the new project dropping later this year, or the new music dropping later this year, and hopefully, I keep saying it every year, but I'm hoping I'll be out in the UK this year at some point. But
Well, you'd be very welcome.
hey, but once again, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back here in just a little bit.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.